The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
I have been working on something for almost a year now, and I've alluded to it, I've hinted at it, and today I can finally announce that I have I've partnered with Shaun King, and together the two of us, we are relaunching with the full blessing of the family of Frederick Douglas and the Douglas Foundation. We're relaunching the North Star, and we are launching it as a modern media venture that amplifies the voices that are often forgotten and tells the stories that are so frequently untold. Now, that sounded like a good tagline, but that's not our tagline. We are literally in the building phase of it. We have been building for the last year. We know exactly what this thing is going to look like when it is in full blossom, down to the detail. I mean, we have worked diligently to plan this and to build the infrastructure of how we need it to look and how we want it to function. We're still at the beginning stages of it, but we're at the point now where we can announce to the audience that our audiences that this is what we're doing. And the reason we're announcing to you now is because we're at the point now where we need your help. Today is nothing more than just going to buildingthenorthstar.com and signing up. It is a landing page. It's not the full-blown website. It's just a landing page so that we can get a gauge of how many people are going to go on this journey with us. And I can tell you, now these numbers might not be impressive to Shaun, because Shaun is like Shaun King. But just this morning, it's 9:36. In the last 2 hours, we have almost 6,000 people who have signed up to be with us on this journey as we rebuild the North Star. So if I had an applause track handy, I would just play an applause track, but I'm just going to clap my hands because that's pretty good. Our goal is 100,000 signups by, and these are just email signups. So go, and there's no, we're not going to, me, if you're on my mailing list, you know that I don't mail you until something's bothering me and I have to say something. So you're not going to get spammed from me, and you're not going to get spammed from Shaun because Shaun doesn't spam either. But even if he did, I'd twist his hand. So your email is safe with us. Go sign up. We need 100,000 people to sign up so that we can update you on our next steps. Our next move is coming up on November 15th. You'll hear more about it as we get closer to it. But the purpose of it is really why I'm recording this morning. Otherwise, I probably would just keep refreshing the screen and looking at all the people who are signing up as we jump like 1,000 people every 20 minutes or so. But the purpose of it and why the legacy of it is so important. But let's start with the purpose. One thing I've learned in independent media, the last 4 years that I've been doing this, I can't believe it's been 4 years. It's actually going to be 4 years in December. Like, holy crap, I'm getting old. But the last 4 years that I've been doing this, the number one thing that I learned is that if you do not control your platform, if you don't control the way in which your stories are told, if you're not in a position to choose the stories that are told, if you don't have that type of control over your own voice, then do you really have a voice? Or are you just a person for hire? I learned the hard way that a lot of times these media outlets, and this is not a knock to anybody, this is just my personal experience, is that there are media outlets that are more than happy to hire you, to pay you good money to do the job that they want done. And I mean, that's the way capitalism works. I mean, that's the way everything works. But you don't have a voice in what stories get told. And you don't really have a say in how those stories are told, except for the fact that they hired you as a black person to, I don't know, bring them some flavor or something. And because of that, we see that the majority of our stories from the black community that are told, there's several phenomena at work here. The first one is that the bulk of the stories that are of the black community that are told, they are told through the lens of our pain. They're told through the lens of suffering. They're told through the lens of police brutality, systemic injustices, which are all true and which are all relevant and all important. But that's not the entirety of what it is to be black. I mean, it's almost like, sure, they want to tell the story of Colin Kaepernick taking a knee because that's such a sensationalized story and it's going to get millions of hits. You know, it's almost like profiting off of our pain. And we've been limited to that framing because, you know, we're not in charge of the media companies. We work for media. We have good paying jobs. We have people in high positions, but not really the final decision maker. And this is not categorical. Of course, there are going to be examples that run contrary to what I'm saying. But in my experience, this is the most important thing about this, is that this is my experience. And as I compared notes with Shaun about a year ago, he had very similar experiences. Then a friend of ours was parted ways with the media company he was with. And I just jumped in Shaun's time and DMs. And I was like, hey, man, we've got to build something. We've got to build something of our own. And he immediately replied and was like, he's been feeling the same way. And from that conversation, and probably, I don't know, Shaun, what do you think? About 3,000 emails at this point? A lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings. And a year later, here we are with this launch, the relaunch of our, the pre-launch of the relaunch of the North Star. I mean, the historical aspect of it is actually something I have to give credit to Shaun for. Shaun's a brilliant guy. Shaun is brilliant. And I want to reiterate that because I like to think that I'm smart. But working with Shaun has revealed to me a subtle genius that I don't think people want to recognize in the brother. But I can tell you firsthand, working with Shaun every single day for the last year, that the brother is smart as hell. And, I'm sure most of you already knew that. But the reason I say that is because it was his idea to reach back in history and grab this. And the more and more I think about it every day that I've thought about the name, the North Star, the more, because me, I was going to go with something, techie, something modern, something very 21st century, something cliche, almost. I'm infected with the disease of cliche every now and then. But Shaun was like, no, let's think about something with a legacy. And we did that, and we thought about it, and the North Star came on the table, and it's so classic and so there's so much history wrapped up in it that it's almost like a complete slap in the face of all of our modern platforms, of all of our modern sounding names and technology. It seems like it's out of place, but because it's out of place, it's perfectly placed to do what we need done. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I'm just talking this morning because I don't have any notes, any agenda this morning other than to talk to you about the North Star. So it's like it's out of place, it's out of time. It's like a man out of time, or a woman out of time. It's a throwback. And it gives us a connection to a legacy that's far bigger than us. And I think that's the other aspect of it, is because this platform is bigger than Shaun and I. Now, to all of my supporters who listen to me on a regular basis, my content will be there. I will be hosting. I will be writing. I will be producing. We'll get back into video and to more podcasts. But the platform is bigger than Shaun and I. Shaun and me. It's bigger than our shows or whatever media we produce. It literally is creating a platform for you, for other people. I mean, I honestly see it as creating something that I can scour the country with and find talented people like I needed someone to find me. I mean, I've been going up. the rough side of the mountain. I've been doing this the hard way, the long way, the last 4 years, doing it while I worked 2 or 3 other jobs, and knowing that I had the talent to and had something to say that would be beneficial, but still having to build it one little brick at a time. And I see the North Star as the opportunity to say, hey, there's a guy in Wisconsin who has something brilliant to say on a regular basis, and he has like 2 followers on Twitter. But if you listen to him, what he or she, I keep saying he, but I'm quite sure there are going to be plenty of brilliant women that we run into. If you listen to what they have to say, it is beneficial not only to the Black community, but to marginalized communities across the world, not only American-centric, but with a global outlook. I mean, we have the capacity, and we're building the infrastructure to amplify those voices into the national conversation so that they can have impact. That, to me, is far more important than my individual show. That to me is really what I want to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to mix it up all the time. You know me, I like to fight. I'm going to be fighting nonstop. And, the presidential elections, I love presidential politics and international. I'm still going to be me. But what we're building is something that is bigger than me. It's bigger than Shaun. And I think connecting it to the legacy of Frederick Douglas really proves that from the beginning, really sets that framing from the beginning, that this is not about Shaun, this is not about Ben, but we're just kind of like the vessels that are going to be used to amplify a new generation of voices and stories. I cannot wait to get some of these stories out to you all. I mean, the voices of just like Black life that isn't viewed through the lens of pain, I can't wait. That's exciting. So there's so many other aspects of this. We're going to have a lot of media coming out, videos coming out explaining what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we went about doing it. And of course, we need your support. We're going to ask for your financial support, but not in terms of like just regular donors. We're asking you to become members of the North Star community, and with the express knowledge that your dollars are going to amplify stories that are untold, voices that are unheard, and in a way and in a fashion that no other media company has shown willingness to do. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I don't know, no reason for me to talk any further. That's it. That's all I can say for right now. Just stay tuned. Go to buildingthenorthstar.com and sign up. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.